Veteran, hosted by Brandy Pett.
Welcome, everybody. It's me, Brandy P, with the Yes, I Am the Veteran podcast, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, the always amazing Miss Amelia Peacock from the Sentinel Collective, and the 6-time Emmy Award-winning filmmaker, Pacific Sour. How are you guys doing?
Woohoo! Things are doing, rocking and rolling around here.
Yeah, congratulations are in order for you. Your amazing documentary is already getting some serious awards. I'm proud of you, sis.
Thank you so much. It's been oh man. I appreciate your compliments, and I'm happy for the awareness that this is going to get for the subject of the film, and hopefully make some real changes for real people in their lives instead of just lip service from politicians. So
oh, absolutely. And it was a personal project for you, and for you to have something so amazing and something that really is not nearly discussed enough. I mean, I applaud you absolutely because of the fact that it is an amazing film.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do.
Absolutely. And you, Miss Amelia, how are you doing, sis?
I am living the dream, living life, looking forward to our upcoming events and everything. Just, hey.
Yes, me too.
Doing well.
And on that note, so big thank you to VFW District 20 for allowing us to participate in the Rosie the Riveter commemoration event at VFW Post 76. So we've got the flyer up here. You can scan the QR code for the information to register. And they are going to have a painting class, like I think it's a Rosie painting class, if I remember right, and a costume contest, along with a lot of other things happening. And we will be having copies of May's book, We Can Do It, available, and both autographed and not autographed copies. So it's a very rare opportunity to get yourself a little piece of history that really goes towards helping veterans, as well as the Women's World War II Memorial, which I think is so great. And I'm really looking forward to seeing such a fun event. And it May turns 100. Like, she says that she wants to outlive her mattress warranty.
She was what? No. She said that. No, Miss May.
Yeah.
No. I was like, ma'am, no.
No, I want her to outlive her, but not the mattress warranty.
Yeah, I was like, you can believe me, man.
That is actually like life goals.
Hey, it's the little things, man. Like, that's got to be one solid mattress. She's had it for that long. For me, it's like after year 5, there's like one like caved inside. I don't know. And so what we're gonna go ahead and do now is we're gonna introduce our guest for the evening on our show once again, Miss Nicole Pauley. Hey sis, how are you doing?
Hey guys, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me tonight. Can't wait to sit down and talk with all of you.
Always a pleasure to have you, sis. You're such a wealth of knowledge, and it's definitely appreciated having you on tonight. And so, for those that don't know you, did you want to quickly reintroduce yourself?
Sure, absolutely. So, Nicole Pauley, I did 10 years active Air Force in the late 90s to early 2000s. I was in Iraqi Freedom, and I was part of a lot of the pre-2000 Desert Fox, Desert Shield, things like that. When I got out, I became a dependent. My husband and I were mill-to-mill. So as a dependent, it was kind of interesting to see the other side. And I will tell you, there's a lot of things those dependents and or spouses, what we call them now, have put up with in the past. And you don't understand it until you live it. So anyway, after that, I did 20 years in corporate America, IT, project management, financial management, etc. And I decided I didn't want to work for corporate America anymore, and I went to be a real estate agent. So about 19 months ago, I went and got my real estate license, and I've been growing with it ever since. So I am certified as a military relocation professional. However, I will say that certification is pretty easy to get. What I do know is that I know about PCSs from both a spousal and an active duty person's point of view. And I know what it's like to be frustrated with a mortgage lending process, or how to buy a house, or don't even know where to start to buy a house, and how many different ways you can use your VA loan, and how many times you can use your loan. So there's all kinds of new things that are changing, and I just can't wait to help share them with you tonight.
Awesome. And I did really quickly want to say hi to Nicole Jordan as
That's
well.
is
We look forward to having her on in March.
Awesome.
And sorry, what were you saying, Amelia? I apologize.
No, I'm sorry. I think I'm having my connection might be a little slow. I might need to close out my tabs. Excuse me. No, I was just going to ask Nikki it's amazing what you're mentioning, because I was actually just having a conversation surrounding a lot of this today, actually, with military spouses and prior active duty military women who are dealing with that struggle of transitioning and all of that stuff. We're going to be PCSing. And so tell me, who's eligible for the VA home loan?
Anybody that either has a general or other than anything that is not other than honorable, above general, honorable, anything that's basically not a dishonorable or bad conduct discharge, as long as you've done either 180 days and were continuous. If you regard, I don't remember the stipulations for reservists, but for active duty, it is 3 years. It is 180 days continuous. Sorry, I was going to confuse that with the GI Bill. But it is 180 days of continuous service, and you are eligible for your VA home loan. Your spouses are also eligible if you are KIA, MIA, Purple Heart, or 100% disabled, and when you pass from one of your disabilities that you're rated for. Yeah.
Can you use your VA home loan for a second loan?
Yes, you can. You can use your VA home loan several times over, as a matter of fact, as long as you can cover the cost and you're approved by your lender. So let me tell you a little backup about what the VA home loan actually is considered. It is a backing of the Veteran Affairs to back the loan, just like FHA would back a loan. So the mortgage company is still giving you a loan, but what the VA loan backing does for you is that it provides that 20% down that you would need to not have PMI or MIP insurance. So PMI is premium mortgage insurance that would come on a conventional loan, and MIP is mortgage insurance premium, which is actually charged at the very beginning when you buy an FHA home loan, and then there is a monthly fee with FHA. With the VA backing, you're not charged either one of those, and so you can go into a VA home loan with zero down. So it's a little bit of twist and nuance. It's a backing and a guarantee from the VA that they will help cover your 20 to 25%, so you are not required to put anything down, and you are not required to pay the MIP or PMI. So that was a little bit diving in, but I would like to tell you the question that you asked is, can you use it more than once? You can not only use it more than once, you can use it at the same time. So there is no limit on how you can use your VA loan. The only limit is that, I didn't see that question. I'll have you read
it wasn't a
little
question.
bit.
He was just saying he owns his home, but the VA never helped him.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to find and help people. But you can buy, the only stipulation is you can buy up to a fourplex, and you have to live in it, one of them, so it's a 1-to-4 contract. It's considered residential property. You have to have residential property. You have to live on it for at least a year. It has to be your primary residence, and you cannot sell it for 2 years. So, okay, so those are some of the stipulations that you can go with it. They get the same, you're in the same rates bucket. Sometimes they're better, sometimes they're worse, depending on credit and from a conventional and FHA. In many states, not Texas, but in many states, you can actually do a cash out VA, and you can also do a VA refinance up to 100% of the value. In Texas, they prevent you from doing this, which I actually think is really good because they help you stay financially secure. So in the state of Texas, you cannot borrow up any more than 80% against your loan in a refinance. When you buy your original home and you have your original mortgage, you can go up all the way to the 100% and not have anything down. But anytime you refinance or want to get cash out or anything like that, you can't go above the 80%. And so that just protects you. And I don't know if everybody remembers 2006 and 2008, but we had so many houses underwater, and honestly, Texas didn't. We survived that because a lot of, at least the veterans did, and a lot of FHA did, because Texas kept it at the level of 80%. So let's see, if you are, say, stationed at Fort Lewis or up in Washington, and you decide to buy your house up there, and then you get PCS orders too here in San Antonio, Fort Sam, or Lackland, as long as you had that for a year, you can continue to rent that house. You don't have to sell it. You can rent it, and with that income covering that, you can get another VA mortgage. In addition to that, if your income is qualifiable, you can get up to 2 or 3, depending, because there's no limit of the VA funds that are provided to you. It's just your income level and what your debt to income and when your income to mortgage payment covers.
Nice.
Wow.
That's very good to know.
Not know any of that.
Yeah, like I never heard of a cashback VA loan before. That's the first I've ever heard of that. So always learning on the show. I love that. We did have a question from a devil dog, so I'm going to put it up now. So, what are the rates for VA on second mortgage?
On the same house, or or a second mortgage, as in a different house?
Ooh, all right. So, George, we're going to need you to give us some more context here so we can more appropriately answer your question. Let's see.
So, just a level set, rates really depend on your credit and your debt to income ratio. They don't depend on whether it's a VA, an FHA, or a conventional. What we do get with is the different levels of credit. The VA will approve a home loan for anybody that's actually above 580 as a credit score, instead of a lot of other mortgages. Conventional and FHA require 620 and better rates as you go up. But the VA will actually approve you for a VA loan at 580. It's the mortgage company, the lender, that's going to approve you for that.
Okay, thank you. And so John says, I've bought 2 homes, both without any assistance from the VA. They were not helpful and had a higher rate. Make sure you shop around. And you're saying it's credit more based as
yeah.
well? Okay.
So it's, let me tell you, I have heard that from a lot of people. And what I will tell you is I only work with veterans that are lenders that are veterans. And the reason I do that is because we all know each other. We all find the ways to help each other. I have 3 lenders that I work with in the San Antonio area. One's a Navy vet, one's an Army vet, and one's an Air Force vet like me. And I work with them, and I give all my clients to them. Even if they're going to new construction, I will have them get pre-qualified with one of those lenders first, because I know with new construction, they will give you all these amazing buy down rates, and they'll pay your closing costs and everything. But when it's all said and done, you still have the VA loan, and you want to know how to use it as best as possible. And those lenders and myself know how to do that. So I'm not surprised you didn't get a lot of help with your VA side. I will not name names, but there are specific advertised veteran lenders that I can't say don't use them or not use them, because that would be a bias on my part, and I would never do that. But come talk to me.
That's
and I would love to help figure out how we can help you.
And so George says that the question he asked about what are the rates on a second mortgage, it's the same house.
It's a single house. Okay, so if you get a HELOC, an home equity line of credit, or if you take a second out on your house, the second isn't a VA loan. The second is considered a conventional cash loan, and that's what those are considered. So, for example, if you had a VA loan and you want to refinance it and wrap some things into it, that you can do, and that's not a second mortgage. That's a single mortgage that was refinanced to, say, wrap your pool in after you built it, or wrap in solar panels after you put them on your house. A second mortgage is a conventional mortgage against something that you're doing on the house that does not actually involve your original mortgage. And that's where a home equity line of credit comes in, or a second.
That makes sense. Thank you. And what are some common myths regarding the whole process with VA loans?
There's so many. There's actually some law changes. So the things that used to be myths are kind of no longer. You can now do a VA loan for a ground-built construction, one-time and two-time close construction loans. You were not able to do that until August of last year. So that's one of those things where if anybody wanted to go out and buy a quarter acre and actually build their house on it, and it's really hard to do that with a VA, well, you can now. And they give you a 2-year to build. Come talk to me about it, and I will walk you through everything. Some of the myths are you can't use it twice. One of the biggest myths is you can't use it while you have a VA loan, you can't use it again for another VA loan, and that is just absolutely not true. If you have paid one off, you can only have it, if you paid it off, you can only have it then, and again, and that is absolutely not true either. You get a guarantee amount. So I'll give you a little bit of insight about me. In 1997, my ex-husband and I bought our second house. When we got divorced in 99, it was on my VA, and I had to keep a hold of it. I, unfortunately, at the time, got deployed to Korea, had a lot of separations, and I had to foreclose on that house. It was a VA. I had the myth that I couldn't use my VA ever again. Well, that's not true. What you can do is their guarantee goes down by the amount that they had to pay that mortgage company for the down payment that they would have guaranteed for you. That's all you have to do. So you can pay them back that fee to get your full eligibility back, or your eligibility is brought down by that little bit of amount of whatever it was. And in the 90s, it was a $50,000 loan, so my guarantee was $10,000. So when we went out and did everything, when they sold it, I still have my eligibility. So that I didn't even know that until about 5 years ago. So yeah, there's a lot of little myths out there that people perpetuate. It really drives me crazy sometimes.
I'm sure.
No, and that's such amazing information as well. And I'm with you on that. I love the educational aspects of it, and to know, because there are so many things that get missed or misunderstood, or that's just difficult to understand when you're not in it all the time like you are. And so with that, Nikki, I'm curious, you mentioned earlier a little bit about the debt to income ratio, and as well as a little bit about the credit. And I think I heard you mention the credit score that you might need to have in order to be able to get a loan. Dive in and tell me a little bit more about, what does my credit have to look like? What does my debt to income ratio have to look like?
That is a really great question. And I hate to say it depends, but it depends. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give you a scenario, but it will not be the only scenario. It's great to keep for any financial backing, because this is the biggest investment you're going to make, is your house, your property. You can't buy land. This is the biggest investment you'll normally make. So you want to make sure that you can afford it. Some of the rules of thumb for is to be able to afford it, take your take-home income and divide it by 4, and that's the max you should be paying for your mortgage, the interest, the principal, and the taxes, and the insurance. Okay? So that's a little rule of thumb that I carry around. Does that mean that you couldn't afford more? Absolutely not. That means you probably could afford more, and a lender will actually approve you for much more. But for your own safety, I don't recommend you going much over that 25% of your take-home. Now, debt-to-income ratio. So your debt-to-income ratio is actually based on your monthly income versus how much you pay out. Your car payments, your housing payment, anything that's actual credit that you have to pay out. So rent actually doesn't count as your debt-to-income ratio. Your car payments count. Your insurance doesn't count. So anything that's on your credit report, credit cards, anything like that, that goes to your debt-to-income ratio. And so that's what they look at. So if your debt-to-income ratio is any higher than 40%, which means that you have $10,000 coming in on a month and you are paying more than $4,000 out for debt, that is a caution. It is not necessarily a caution for the lender, it's a caution for you. All right, the lender will still approve you. Even if you become 50 to 65% debt-to-income ratio, you'll just get higher rates. Also, that means that you have this credit to limit ratio. Okay, that's a separate thing. You have a credit card that's $25,000 and you owe 10 on it, but you have another credit card that's $10,000 and you owe 9 on it. Well, that debt to credit ratio, that is 90%, and that is not very good for credit. So a lot of credit agencies say, pay that one down and keep your credits below, between 65% and below. So those are the two things they look at.
Dexter, you had a question?
He wants to know if
He sure did. That's why I'm here.
What was were you saying, Pacifica?
he wants to know if he needs a down payment. I do.
He doesn't. He doesn't need a down payment. Now, I will say that's different than escrow or different than earnest money. So you may not need a down payment, but that doesn't mean you don't pay closing costs. Closing costs are the things that are charged at the title when you buy your title insurance, or to pay for a survey, to pay for an appraisal, things like that. So that's very different. Down payment is to take off the mortgage balance, and earnest money and escrow are to take off of closing costs, and that's a distinct difference between those.
I see.
Awesome, thank you. And so tell us a little bit more about little-known programs that may help veterans with the process of home buying.
Okay, so there's several. So if you're a veteran and you're a first-time home buyer, there are a lot of programs in every state to help you get good interest rates, to help you pay little to nothing down, and to help with closing costs. As a matter of fact, in San Antonio right now, there is an initiative for first-time home buyers to help pay no closing costs. So the city and the counties around will actually help pay down your closing costs, so that you don't have anything but your earnest money that you brought to the table. So instead of having to pay $6,000 to $10,000 at closing, you can pay like $2,000 or $3,000 at closing.
And that's significant.
Yep. Another thing is helping sellers sell. So this is a new program, and it's actually not a veteran program, but it's something that I love because it helps all of us, all of the veterans that may be in a tight spot, to get out of that tight spot. So I actually personally work with a financing company called Notable. And so I'll give you a little background about my business in a minute, but what Notable does is if you have a 680 credit score or better and you want to sell your house, but you just need to update it, you know, 20 grand to replace do some kitchens and counters or repaint or something, right? And you're like, I just don't have the money to do this, so I'm going to have to take a hit. Well, Notable helps me help you up to $50,000 at a 680 and up to $75,000 at a 780 credit score that you don't pay a dime of until you close on the house. So they will actually advance you that money for your contractor or anything, a new AC unit, everything that you can spend on it. You can spend it on photographs. You can spend it on listing qualifications, admin fees, all kinds of stuff. Anything that goes with the sale of a home, you can spend that on. And what that means is that I can help you get that leg up over these new construction folks right now. So there are not a lot of real estate agents that really even know about this program, and real estate agents don't actually use it. It's contractors and construction. So to give you a little background about my business, it's called Pauley Consulting Real Estate Services. And the reason I say that is because it's real estate, buying, selling, commercial, and residential. But in the middle of that, my brother and I also have a piece of a company called Irish Twins Rehab and Construction. And we go in and we partner with Noble, and we get these home sellers able to be taken care of, and then we go in and work with other contractors to clean up their houses and do what they need to do, stage it, and then we get the best bang for the buck out of everything. Right now I'm working with a USAA employee, she's a friend of mine, but we're taking the value of what she would have had, about $375. We're going to look at selling it over $550,000.
Oh wow!
So yeah. It's a big difference. That little 25 to 50K can make such a difference if you know where to put it.
That little 25 to 50K.
On a house investment, what you don't realize, I mean, that can be most of these people that is, you know, 10, 20, and 30% of the value of their home. And so they're like, hey, I have this equity, but I don't want to refinance. You don't want to hit your credit before you buy a new house. You don't want to increase anything on your credit cards before you buy a new house. Like you're told, don't touch anything. Well, this is the ability to touch something that is a soft pull on your credit. It doesn't hit your credit at all, and you don't pay anything until closing.
Nice.
That's amazing.
I like that. And so we have
Let
a
me-
comment. So Dexter, I think, has a fan. Says the lady that reading my questions, I'm in love with you. Dexter, you have fans.
That's all you, Brandon.
Oh, he's a charmer. He'll get you every time, I promise.
He's Mr. Sawyer girl. That is that guy. Yes, 100%. Dexter for question.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Right. He has a name like that. I'm curious, Nikki, what is the actual, and I hope I'm not alone here, and maybe I'm telling on myself. Oh, well, if I am. But when I bought my home, the process, I flew through it. It was so much at one time, so much I had to learn. I had never been through it before as a first-time homeowner. Tell me, what is the VA funding fee? Please remind me.
The VA funding fee, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. So the VA funding fee is almost like a lender's fee. So a lender will charge you a mortgage fee, but with a VA loan, they can't because the VA loan backs the guarantee. But the VA needs a funding fee so that they can keep this program going. So it's normally 1% of the value of the home. If you are a disabled veteran, over 30% disabled, that VA funding fee is also waived. So you don't pay that 1%. So lenders have actually changed tactics a little bit, and so they don't have any loan origination fees is what they call it anymore. So they make it up in different ways because they still have to make money as well. Real estate agents, lenders, they all actually work on the basis of selling the home's title as well. So when the VA comes in and says you can't charge a loan origination fee on a veteran, and yet we're charging a VA funding fee, and then all of a sudden you can't charge that, well, they have to figure out where to get some of their money from. But yes, the VA funding fee is to eliminate the mortgage loan origination fee, and if you are 30% or more disabled, that is waived as well.
Good to know.
Right.
Thank you.
So did that answer your question about what it is?
Yeah.
And more.
And then
It
some.
sure did.
I'm
Yeah.
so impressed with
Exactly.
your depth and wealth of knowledge. It's incredible.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to shift gears on you and talk about something a little bit more seriously. Like, what would you say, in your opinion, is the biggest contributing cause for veteran homelessness?
Oh, you got into my sweet spot. I appreciate that. Not communication and fear. So you gave me chills. So that's my ultimate goal. The reason I do what I do is to end veteran homelessness. My goal is to start a nonprofit for veteran homelessness, and so that we can do what I'm doing, but on commercial side, so that I can put together housing to work with the VA and HUD to help house veterans. But what do I think is the biggest contributing factor? A lot of assumptions on private organizations' part that if we build it, they will come. We are veterans. We don't ask for help. We don't go find help. We don't, and did you know, I don't know if you knew this, but female veterans are actually the number one most unrepresented homeless population, period, because they don't even accept that they're homeless. They are couch surfing with friends or family. They don't want to tell anybody because they might lose their kids. They have to have a job, and they have to take care of children because most females have children. If they're single and homeless, they may come in and get more help, but a lot of female veterans are just so scared that somebody's going to find out that something's going on, because in the military it was don't talk about anything that's going on behind those doors, right? And so that, I think, is the biggest problem that we have with veterans, is that we don't talk about anything and we don't ask for help.
Agreed with the don't ask for help.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
honestly, I really wish the VA rescinded that policy where couch surfing isn't considered homeless, because of the fact that there's so many different situations that you may not really have that type of time when you may be afraid to stay in the hood housings because the locking units aren't working correctly, or it's predominantly male. And, I really do hope that in the future that it is something that the VA is able to do better on. Specifically, is that where mothers and their children can get those housing vouchers or that housing assistance for them and their children, not just the veteran themselves. And then
Yeah.
it's like, figure it out with the kids. Like, what do you do? Like,
Yeah.
everyone's situation is completely different, but it's important to have these type of resources like built in place for a community that it really is underrepresented.
Yeah. So one last thing I'd like to add, there is an organization here in San Antonio called Dress for Success.
Yes.
They actually work with several other nonprofit organizations to help veterans get jobs, write resumes, work on computers, things like that. And they actually set up classes specifically for women and women veterans. And one of the people that work with them came to me and he said, "Why aren't they showing up? We have it. Why aren't they showing up?" I said, it could be a myriad of reasons, but one, they're scared. They don't want to tell you they're homeless. Two, they don't have the ability to get there because they can only afford rent or a car, not both. The schedule for daycare or childcare, along with the bus schedule, won't meet it.
Yep.
They are at work. Maybe they have to work 2 jobs. I mean, there's just so many things that go into veterans with children that can't get out because there's so many people that don't realize that there's these holes that are just massive for them. So
absolutely, you hit the nail right on the head.
Really glad that, I was gonna say you hit the nail on the head on that, because I've over the years there's been a lot of heartbreak because of the lack of accessibility for our women veterans with children for safe housing. It is a huge thing that is missed in our communities.
And that's the key word, safe.
The public thinks shelters are safe. I'm like, no. Terrible things happen in shelters.
And female veterans, that word
You
safe
can't
means
let
a
your
lot.
kids out of your sight.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
And especially even like when they do, a lot of times, like they'll do like the head counts in the hood housing, they'll do it in the evening. And a lot of times the women veterans will come earlier in the day and they'll leave by the evening for safety reasons. And so like they're not getting these numbers or these demographics for their surveys, which unfortunately impacts funding. It's just, we definitely, I really hope to see that change in the future for sure. And so where can our listeners go to learn more about VA home loans, and where can they find you specifically?
So I am anywhere you look. My website is NickyPauley.com, NICKIPAULEY.com, just like how my name's written there. My phone number's on the website. You can get a hold of me anytime there. My email is Nicky@NickyPauley.com. You can get with Brandy, and then if you want to find anything from home loans, I have a wonderful lender that I work with one Saturday a month. He does a home buying workshop here in San Antonio, and so it's one Saturday. I think it's the 3rd Saturday. I will get it and I will give it to you, Brandy. But that Saturday at 10 a.m. we provide snacks and or sandwiches if you want to come and have some lunch with us on a Saturday. But he will teach you about the processes of going through and what is involved in buying a home. And I will tell you the only thing you really don't have to worry about, and a lot of people don't say this, the entire process, your realtor needs to be the least of your worries. So you have lenders, you have title companies, you have other agents, you have people competing, you have the owner, and your realtor should be there to be taking care of you. If you ever feel like your realtor is not has your back, has your six, is your confident, can take care of everything for you, then you need to question why they're there. And you need to reach out and ask other people, or ask them, like, do you know what I'm going through? Do you understand what it's like for these people to go through all of this? And I will tell you, even people with the MRP, they really don't. They really don't.
And that's knowing is half the battle, right? Like walking a mile in someone else's shoes.
Exactly.
It really gives you a better comprehensive understanding of things.
Yep. I am going to put a plug out there for EXP. That's the brokerage that I work for. But EXP is the only real estate organization that I've ever been with that has a military organization. We have a military network. We are all veterans. We have a state squad leader, so we know what's going on in every state. We have veterans, spouses, moms, parents, brothers, but they're all focused on the military community. So at any point in time, anybody can come to any of us and say, hey, who's my real estate veteran in Washington or California, or which region of California, and we can find that for you. And that's critical because we have 30,000 real estate agents internationally, not just nationwide, but internationally in EXP. We are in 29 or I think maybe 30 countries now, including Japan, Canada, all of Europe, et cetera, even, and a lot in South America. But what I will say is that we do actually have a very, very tight-knit, very well-run military network inside EXP.
Awesome. Thank you so much for all your knowledge tonight, sis. Like, it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Absolutely. I loved it. Thank you so much. And if you have any other questions, let me know. If you have wants to reach out to me with anything, let me know. I really do love to help people, and I will say that the Speak Up Nonprofit Foundation, which is Speak Up for Women, Speak Up for Veterans, we will be starting next year hopefully, God bless, next year with our first housing program, which will be specifically for women with children.
I love that. Please keep us up to date on that, and we'd be happy to have you back on for more updates. Awesome. And speaking of knowledge, it's time for our knowledge drop. Giving OIF vibes.
Hello, everyone. Here is the knowledge drop for the week. Actually, it's for the past 2 weeks, okay? So I know we might be a little bit behind. However, it's still very, very applicable and very relevant today. So I know that we all saw the interim final rule that came out on February 17th, 2026, which is regarding the evaluative ratings of impact of medication on veterans. Now, a lot of us are out there trying to look and find out more information about it. We heard Doug Collins put out a public comment that stated that they were going to retract that. However, I do want to bring to the forefront in the essence of knowledge and education, because to me, that is so important. I did put together a completely bipartisan, just no opinion, nothing, just facts. Things where you can, sites that have been verified, where I've verified them myself. I had other individuals make sure I was using appropriate sites and it worked and everything. So go and look at this document that I've put together. It is on my Facebook and on my LinkedIn through the Sentinels Collective, but it gives you some options on where to go to read about the information. It tells you where you can go to actually comment to the government about what your thoughts are on this. That is the key aspect. I don't care what you think. You think what you'd like to think based on the information you read, make your educated decision. But I think it is every single one of ours jobs and responsibilities to speak up. As Nikki just mentioned with the name of that organization, I love it. So it's just, that is in my mind, but we have to talk. We have to share what's going on. If we're not talking about what's going on, we're not going to be able to make any change. And so I urge you to please check out this quick guide. It'll give you points where you can go look, start your search, use it just to start your search and then go from there, deep dive. But it also gives you where you can go and let your voices be heard. So that's your knowledge drop for this week. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah. And honestly, like I was very surprised by how sneaky it was done. And so for me, I'm glad that 2 days later, like, they were like, hey, we're going to put a pause, and I don't know if it's going to be like fully paused or if it's, something so that's why your voice being heard is extremely important. Like Amelia was saying, because of the fact that, we got to let them know, they train us to do way too much stuff, to do that kind of stuff to people that are, very much in need of those services. So, and yeah, like that could be like a whole podcast. Like I'm so serious. So, but thank you so much, Amelia. We really appreciate the knowledge drop. And so definitely check out the Sentinels Collective as well as our podcast. Like I tried to click the link, for some reason it's not working with me now, but we will have it where it is shared to our podcast page. But if you guys have any questions about any sort of topic VA related, please let us know, and we can include it into a future knowledge drop as well. And so with that, I'm just going to briefly mention one last thing, and that's going to be May's book. So it is available. You can buy it at the upcoming event, which we will be there on March 21st at VFW Post 76. But if you can't wait, you can also get your copy on Amazon as well, as a lot of other book distributors. And I mean, support an amazing cause and learn about an amazing lady. So that's how I feel about it. You might see some familiar faces, something like that. But we'll go ahead and just go around and do final thoughts and close it up for tonight. So, Miss Nikki, what is your final thoughts for the evening?
If you have any questions about your VA home loan, if you have any questions about how to get a loan, where to start with buying a home, where to start with selling your home, if you've only ever bought one home and you don't know where to start, find your closest EXP military network realtor, or just reach to me and I'll help you find them.
Thank you, sis. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And Miss Amelia, what are your final thoughts, or what the Dector's final thoughts are for the night?
I just want to say thank you. I'm a huge fan of education and knowledge, and it, when properly applied, it makes a huge difference. And so thank you. Like Pacifica mentioned earlier, you have so much different amounts of detail and depth of knowledge that is really key to this process. So thank you for sharing that with us tonight.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I do not have
next time I come on, we'll talk about dual military college-age children and the dependent education program.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And if our listeners have specific requests, please message our podcast. Yes, I Am the Veteran. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, more stuff coming out. Please, just go to our platforms and just message us, and we will have it in an upcoming show, because I feel that knowledge is important. And even though, I almost lost both legs of my right arm, I still have a mouth. And so I still find education very important, even though I can't raise hell quite the same way as I once could. More like a T-Rex now. Like, I was a lot faster once. Yeah, basically, yes. I have T-Rex-like arms. So, Pacifica, you said, did you have any final thoughts for the night?
I'm just astounded. Like, I found out tonight that I'm just know nothing about VA loan.
You're good company then.
But I'm excited because this opens up opportunities and different things, and I'll definitely be in touch. So I'm
awesome.
But I don't have the brain for that kind of information. So it's good that you're out there and that someone can explain it, because no way.
Absolutely. And I guess for me, I would just say kindness matters. And I mean, it's important now more than ever to be your own best advocate. I'm going to beat that horse all day, because it's important. And I mean, representing and, speaking your story and talking about, why, you think that this shouldn't go through, like, any proposed legal changes regarding veterans. Now is the time to be active as an advocate, even if it's just for yourself. Your voice matters. And so my final thoughts for tonight would be just, you are your own best advocate, and absolutely fight. But we will go ahead and wrap it up then. And thank you again so much, Nikki. I mean, you're always such a wealth of knowledge, so it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. And we look forward to having you on again soon.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies, so much. Have a wonderful evening. I appreciate the ability to join you.
Absolutely. Thank you, sis. And we are Yes, I Am the Veteran. Good night.
Hi, I'm Aurelia. Just a reminder, smash like, hit subscribe, and click the bell. Please give me my mommy some hearts. Yay, veterans!